back at it again, and we've got one with Colion Noir. Hopefully I said that right. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. With a very interesting story here that, oh, man, it's really scary, honestly. All right, I'm going to just be upfront. It's pretty darn scary, and yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Join the family. Original link down below. All right, make sure you guys go show Colion Noir some love. Goodness gracious, I can't talk. Follow me on social media. Those links are down below in the description box as well. And with that being said, let's dive in.
Right now, Canada is the canary in the coal mine for America.
Canary in the coal mine. Whew. Canada update. People can no longer buy, sell, or transfer. See, I cannot talk today. Goodness gracious. Handguns within Canada, and they cannot bring newly acquired handguns into the country. All right. We've already banned more than 1,500 types of assault-style firearms, and will continue to do whatever it takes to keep guns out of our communities. Interessante. And his first statement was, Canada is the canary in the coal mine situation. And if you don't know the canary in the coal mine story, if I remember correctly, coal miners used to take canaries down into the mines with them. And the canaries would die if, I can't remember if the oxygen levels dropped too low or if there was like a certain type of gas that was building up down there. So it would warn the miners, we got to go now. The canary just died and we're next. Because obviously the canary would pass away first because they're much smaller and more easily affected by, those types of changes. So the coal miners would know, we got to go. So basically what he's saying is we got to make sure that we're looking out for this stuff because we know what Joe's trying to do. We got to make sure we stop him from doing so because we know how this will things like this ultimately end. And it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty at all. Tell him again, Colion, please.
So right now, Canada is the canary in the coal mine for America. So y'all better be paying close attention.
Today, our national freeze on handguns is coming into force.
And I love how he had called it a freeze. This was some months and months back. I want to say that we checked this out. I might have checked it out on my own, but I believe I made a video on it. But originally, it was a national freeze on firearms or handguns or whatever he said. Freeze. Like, I was like, that's weird terminology. So you basically already effectively banned them. Like, what does freeze even mean? Freeze means stop. Duh. But you see how they play with these certain words, and it's weird and dishonest, honestly, because obviously now look what they've done.
From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
For years now, I've argued that there's no such thing as common sense gun measures, and that every time you hear that phrase or some form of it from a politician, it means that they want to ban all the guns. Same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden just said that he's gonna get the so-called assault weapon ban passed. And there are so many people who are like, oh, well, that's not too bad. Who needs AR-15s anyway? All you really need is a handgun, fools. It's not just going to stop with AR.
I guarantee you, most people that say that, I would venture to say 98% of people who say stuff like what he just said, oh, who even needs, have never owned a firearm a day in their life. Y'all think I'm right? Let me know in the comment section.
15s. All you really need is a handgun, fools. It's not just going to stop with AR-15s. There's always going to be more. And Canada just proved it. First, they started with the so-called assault weapons in 2020.
We are closing the market for military-grade assault weapons in Canada. We are banning 1,500 models and variants of these firearms.
Military. That's another thing. I love how they, once again, the wording, freeze, military grade. I don't know Canada's military, but like here in the U.S., our military don't use those. So I believe our military uses, I think it's the M4A1. You can't even buy those. So when people like Trudeau say military grade, what? You can't even buy fully auto weapons. Well, you can, but they have to be before, I think it was 1986. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on any of this. But I believe if you're going to buy a fully auto weapon, it has to have been one that was made before 1986, if I'm correct. So when these politicians and Trudeau say this kind of stuff, it's really disingenuous. It needs to be called out every time that they do it because they love doing it. Military style, military grade, weapon of war. BS.
By way of regulations.
Then 2 years later, they are now banning handguns. I'm sure there are a lot of people right now saying, oh, well, that's Canada. That could never happen here. Are you slow, dumb, or stupid? We just had an assault weapon ban in America that lasted from 1994 to 2004. That was only 18 years ago. And the only reason we don't still have one now is because the Republicans got lucky and were able to put in a sunset clause in the bill that would require the law to expire after 10 years if they could show that the ban didn't work. You really think the Democrats will make the same mistake again in their new assault weapon bill that they're trying to pass now? There's no sunset provision in the new assault weapon ban bill. They even made more restrictions than there were in the last bill. Yes, we have a Second Amendment here in the United States that they don't have in Canada, which makes it more difficult to unilaterally pass laws that ban guns outright. But look around you. Look at the up-and-coming generation. Most of these kids don't even know what the Second Amendment is, much less can tell you what it says.
A well-regulated militia.
Mr. Trump, Congress, the Senate, and all elected being necessary to the
security of the people's rights.
No, being necessary to the security of a free state.
Of the free state, and the rights to bear arms should not be infringed.
The right of the people to
keep and bear arms should not be infringed. God, man, you really had to walk me through that. In my defense, I looked this up at 3 a.m. just to get the wording right.
And even if they do know what the Second Amendment is and says, they simply don't care.
You know, Texas is big on guns. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, we checked out this video. Shout out to Sav.
I don't really care about guns, to be honest. So, it doesn't really affect me.
So if the governor decides no more guns.
See, and this is one of the problems that I think is going on right now. We've become too... Society has become too easy. Right? People have become way too comfortable. You only don't care about them until you actually need them. And if you've given away that right, it is going to be too late. I would love to ask this gentleman the question that I always ask. What happens when a criminal who doesn't care about your laws, your regulations, or any of that, they don't follow these, what happens when they kick in your front door with a weapon? What are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. No, actually, what's going to happen. Excuse me. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You will be bagged and tagged. Simple. Lights are out, and they ain't coming back on. But it's folks like this. Oh, I don't care. Of course you don't care. You're not going to care until you actually need it. Y'all agree? Let me know.
Care about guns, to be honest. So, it doesn't really affect me.
So if the governor decides no more guns in Texas, Beto decides that you'd be all for it?
Yeah.
Constitutional rights are...
It doesn't really affect me. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
only as strong as the next generation that's willing to fight to protect them. And over the last...
Hold on, say that again.
Beto decides that you'd be all for it?
Yeah.
Constitutional rights are only as strong as the next generation that's willing to fight to protect them.
Facts.
And over the last decade or more, our mainstream media has done a phenomenal job literally brainwashing people into essentially hating the Second Amendment. This isn't me being a conspiracy theorist. This has literally been said by people in our government. That's exactly what needs to happen.
I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
People have...
What the what? Whoa. Whoa. I don't know about y'all, but I'm shocked. Every day, did y'all hear what he was saying? Every day, we need to brainwash them.
Got to stop being naive. What's happening in Canada right now can and will happen in the US as long as people remain complacent about protecting their Second Amendment rights. Stop thinking all these people trying to pass these 2A laws are dumb. They are not. They understand how most people think on a fundamental level. They know that most people inherently resist big changes, but are more keen to accept a bunch of smaller changes over a period of time. They're not going to come right out and say, we need to ban guns in America, like they essentially just did in Canada. They're going to slow drip it because they have to change the culture first, then sell the change. Their agenda right now is to ban the AR-15. So they have to make it seem like all of these killings are happening with AR-15s, when in reality, the AR-15 is used the least. Once they get the AR-15s, the handguns then become easy because they actually do make up the vast majority of the guns used in shootings. But by...
Ooh, you sneaky son of a bitch. Sneaky. He just pointed out something that never really occurred to me. If you manage to demonize the ARs, which they have with a lot of folks, unfortunately, oh, they're weapons of war, they blah 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 blah. If you manage to demonize those, it will be easy to ban them then, but then it'll also be easier to come back and ban the handgun because the handgun is the actual thing that kills the most people. But they won't talk about that now. They'll talk about it later. If you've noticed, they never mention the statistics on handguns versus ARs. They never do it. Ever. I've yet to hear them mention any statistics involving that. We got to start calling them out on it. Absolutely calling them out on it. That is crazy.
Then the memory of the banning of the AR-15s will be a distant memory, and as a result, they can use the exact same strategy to ban the handguns. At this point, seeing how Canada did exactly what I just said, anyone who still believes these politicians when they say that they only want reasonable gun laws is simply a moron, because the anti-gun playbook is literally staring you in the face. And yes, AR-15s are protected by the Second Amendment.
Yeah. Very, very scary times, ladies and gentlemen. Very scary times, because once something like that happens, I don't think we could return from it. Thomas Sowell had spoke about, and I can't remember if I checked this video out with you guys or not, forgive me, but he had spoke about at some point in time, there is a point of no return. And I do believe that will be a point of no return. Once weapons are banned in the US like they are in Canada, we are done. It's over with. I'm just saying, I believe that is the point of no return. You guys can let me know how you feel about it in the comment section, but yeah, this is just absolutely crazy. And people that don't, like he was talking about, people that think that it can't happen here, it sure can. And these politicians, especially on the left, they're watching what happened in Canada. They saw it. They know that they may not be able to do it the exact way that Canada just did it. But I'm sure they've already devised up a way to do it. Oh, we're just gonna, and I touched on this before. They know that they aren't gonna be able to do it in one chunk. And actually, Coleon touched on it. They aren't going to be able to do it in one chunk. It's going to be a death by 1,000 cuts. Oh, we're just gonna ban ARs. That's all. We're just gonna ban ARs. That's all we're gonna do. Oh, we're gonna ban magazines with a 16-round capacity. We're going to ban magazines with a 12-round capacity. We're going to ban handguns longer than X amount of length. We're going to ban, death by 1,000 cuts, just incrementally over time. Until before you know it, everything is gone. Everything. So stand with me, and let's make sure that we call out these politicians who use these buzzwords, weapons of war and mass destruction and all of this other stuff, and they never bring up the true statistics on ARs. Man, I wish I would stand in front of a politician who tries, they're weapons of war, they're mass destruction, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I'm going to call you out on your BS. Did you know most deaths happen because of handguns and not ARs? ARs are probably the least used weapon. So why do you care about ARs so much? We got to call them out. We have to protect our Second Amendment. I mean, it clearly says shall not be infringed, but I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.